It seems like a very, very comfy item. It looks like both of our runners skipped it.
Yep. Yeah, my view on those technically optimal, if you saves a few seconds, is work on your movement first.
Yep. All right, I think we're here. All right,
we're live.
Let's go.
All right. Max percent GT code. Players are required to reach GT Golden Torso with the absolute minimum items, which will be both suits, speed booster, and one of each ammo. Notably, 0 energy tanks. There are alternative routes that do the lava dive with 0 energy tanks and high jump boots, but that route is not allowed in this. There's also a route that does a horizontal IBJ over moat and bowling to pick up gravity suit early, that's also not being allowed for the tournament because it's more volatile. This route is pretty reliable for pretty much everyone to execute.
Yeah, I mean, a gravity jump with high jump boots and Varia is like it's the most reasonable way of crossing lava dive that you're gonna get without picking up space jump. You know.
Yeah, like it would have been fun if they'd had the GT code left door route as the required route instead. That would be interesting.
I didn't know that was a thing. That's silly. I love it.
I
All
don't think I've
right.
seen anyone do it, but it's not gonna stop me.
Um. All right. So Anthony, getting stand-up crate, unfortunately, but cleaning it up nicely. Not running out of ammo. If you run out of ammo, that fight can drag on and on and on and on and on and on and on.
And Scotty taking the very careful route to not accidentally IBJ into the energy tank. He's not allowed to pick up that tank until after the GT code. If he picks it up before the GT code, then he could only get 134% and his run would be invalid. So,
And just to remind everyone, or potentially clue some of you in for the first time, if one runner completes a valid run of a category, the other runner does not. So, for example, you miss an item here in Max GT code, or you collect an extra item in low percent, etc. The person with the valid run will always win, no matter what timings are. If neither run is invalid, then it goes to a time penalty based on whether it's a major or minor item. But a valid run always beats an invalid run. So
I don't
that
know, maybe
is
they should start over from the beginning if they have an invalid run. You know, reset from the last valid save.
good do. I mean, you'd have to have somebody who'd be willing to put up with a bunch of dull, repetitive stuff for a minute, but I'm sure it could happen. All
So,
right.
both successfully dodged the high jump E tank and the high jump missile.
GG.
Next big obstacle is going to be the moat missile that they need to dodge.
Yep. No sparking into moat missiles in this category. All right. So from here, Scotty's going to go back out Bubble Mountain.
It's an interesting right side deboost out of Cathedral.
Yeah, I think if you're going to do that deboost, I like it Fantoon first categories. I don't really like it in categories where you don't have gravity just because that Garuda hits for 30. And
Yeah.
and in Norfair, that 30 energy is very important. In categories without gravity. Like obviously it's important in gravity too, but you can get away with it much more easily in like PRKD because you're gonna farm at speed bugs anyway.
Yeah.
And it's only 15 damage there.
Scotty is out of Norfair, though. On his way up Red Tower. Let's see if he chooses to do Alpha Spark on 0 tanks. Doesn't save much time.
Yeah, I've got an inkling of whether or not he'll do that. What a shocking turn of events, truly.
Good
Nice
deboost
boost.
off the scree, though, so...
Getting the instant turnaround too.
Yeah, it's important to turn around and spin so that your turnaround takes 1 frame instead of, what, 4?
I think it's like 6 or 7.
Man.
I think it's I want to say 7, but it might be 6 technically.
Locked on the hero shot.
You can actually do the down grab with this loadout. Your beam doesn't matter for doing the red tower down grab, which some people might be surprised to learn.
Still extremely difficult, so
Yes, no,
worth
it's
trying the
still
hero shot first.
it's still a dumb trick, but it will work with any beam. Yeah. So yeah, Scotty, coming up the red tower here. We're gonna farm these cacatacs here. Scotty's gonna take a save. I think this is a very wise idea. This is still not a comfortable Fantoon fight. You're on kind of equivalent energy to PRKD. Drops are worth like twice as much to you essentially because of various suit, but it's still like, and you have to take into account the energy you lose sparking if you don't like farm at the bottom of wreck ship. There's like, this is still a very, very dangerous part of the game, even though like it's not Fantoon first.
It's not too bad. If you go to the game, you can get comfortable with entering on 29. So.
And then all right, very nicely dodged.
Avoid the missiles.
Yeah, even more of a big deal than the energy situation, though.
5 missiles is kind of messy.
Yeah, 5 missile Fantoon is not a fun time. All right, yeah, this is actually surprisingly tricky with speed and high jump. Your jumps have to be much more particular. Scott, if you wanted to health, you had to kill that with a missile.
He wanted it out of the way so he wouldn't bump into it.
Oh, I guess that makes sense too. If you kill it with full supers, you do get a guaranteed big health, which can sometimes be really nice. But yeah, so basically for anyone who didn't hear our initial explanation due to technical difficulties, this category is kind of similar to GT Classic in that you go down to Lower Norfair and GT Code, but on the way there, you have to collect minimum tanks and ammo. So no tanks and 1 of each ammo is what you're allowed to get before GT Code. And then after GT Code, you collect Screw Attack, which is the last major. And then you have to go and collect every energy tank, reserve tank, missile pack, super missile pack, and power bomb pack that you skipped before entering Lower Norfair. And you end at 135%.
It's actually kind of a nice contrast with 14%. Because, like, if you divide by 10 and round up, you get 14.
It just makes sense. Scotty looking like we're gonna see a pretty clean 3 round here. Oh,
you got enough missiles.
I think maybe missed the menu to the super. Does he? Maybe he didn't have enough shots. I'm not entirely sure. But
probably missed the menu. Possibly ran out of missiles when he was not quite expecting it.
Regardless, Fantoon is dead.
A high five in the doorway. First of many high fives. With this route, we're going to see a lot of backtracking because they'll have to return to wreck ship later at the end of the run.
Yep. Because while they have speed booster, they are not allowed to collect wreck ship reserve at this point. It has to be collected after GT code, because GT code doesn't like take into account any items that you've collected. It just completely overwrites everything. So
it's down to 3 energy, so gotta play it safe here.
But yeah, so basically, if you collect something before doing GT code, GT code doesn't put it back. And so you'll never be able to like collect that item, and it'll mean you can't hit 135%. You don't have a valid run anymore. I guess it does
Scotty
make.
did the PRKD style mock ball. I think
I
when you
think
have speed booster, that's actually slower. I don't know though.
it's really hard to shoot the shot block without wave beam.
Yeah, I imagine so.
And Scotty is not really comfy with KPDR to begin with, as far as I know, or at least is very, very rusty with it.
Okay, so took a third hit.
Scotty, please.
It is possible to do bowling with only 2 hits with speed and high jump, just much harder than the other loadouts.
Yeah, the
You
window
want to
to
make it
jump
safe,
is
you take off your shoes.
smaller, I believe. Yeah, if you take off boots, it becomes a lot easier. Okay. Anthony trying to conserve some drops there. Unfortunately, Fantoon not cooperating with that. All right, there we go. We've got I think that was a 4 round, but still a good kill. We're gonna be leaving. I mean, it's gonna be very difficult to leave on anything but good resources here. There we go. Yeah, full resources. Great. All right, so Anthony on his way to go do the attic and collect gravity suit before heading down. Scotty on his way down to Lower Norfair to do the lava dive.
Yeah, Scotty took the safe route through moat, bombing under the pillar instead of taking the risk of jumping over.
Anthony, careful, please. Okay, a power bomb works too, I guess. I usually super these guys, but power bomb will kill them. You don't need them stacked on top of each other, though they were there. Because with the super, you
close
kind of
enough
need
to
to.
double hit.
Yeah. Sometimes it looks like they should be though, and they're not, and it's obnoxious. You need a super here. There you go. Okay.
Nice moonfall down red tower.
Yeah, Scotty showing off just that really, really clean movement. Scotty is an incredible runner. I believe, I hope I'm not lying here. I believe he has a 42 any percent. He may have gotten a 41 and I am forgetting, but I'm pretty sure he has at least a 42, which is like very, very impressive.
Anfunny runs SM red a lot. I'm sure I've lost a bunch of races to him, so he knows how to move. He knows how to get around the game and do tricks.
Mm-hmm.
A movement gap to work on to catch up.
Yeah, that's something that I think is very interesting between like vanilla mains and rando mains, is that with people who play a lot of randomizer, they're really good at the tricks and doing the particular movements and stuff, or tend to be. But like in general, because like logic and like knowing how to like follow it or break it in a randomizer is such an important skill. Not that movement isn't important, but it's less important compared to vanilla. Whereas in vanilla, it's like movement most of what's happening in the game. And so it's often I think that like habits like ledge grabbing or like breaking spin before landing or like spin jump control or things that get kind of focused on less by people who play more randomizer, not universally obviously, but just like sort of as a general rule. And it's like that's something that I've noticed with like rando players who come to vanilla SM, is that like they have a decent, like they usually have decent movement.
That's too bad.
Oh, that's a bummer. Yeah, anyway, they just like the little like habits that like you start to develop early in vanilla speedruns, like don't tend to be as present at first.
No save before the elevator from Scotty, so he's banking on getting that green gate with these 5 supers. He did save in the tunnel before the Frog Speedway, so
Okay, so he'll just need to redo Lava Dive, which I think he has time to do and still not lose his lead
yeah, it's like
at
a
this point.
1-minute time loss if you have the elevator save, so add
All right,
another 30 seconds, maybe.
all right, no worries. Second try.
Yeah, he used that setup that gives you 2 frames from the running speed, so probably a GT Classic runner there.
Yep, I know for a fact that he's played it.
Turn
Whew,
off
all right,
Spacer so you don't crash the game. Very first thing you
brilliant.
must do when entering GT's room.
Or menu to ammo.
Actually, that's a good point. You could menu to ammo before you go through the door. And you'd still be on ammo after the door. So,
I mean, I'm making a GT space time joke.
there's a Hundo strat where you run out with a lot of speed and you do a skid across the floor because you're aiming down and you turn so that you go across the floor with a skid because you don't land until the turn finishes. Scotty didn't quite get the skid there, so
Oh yeah,
first thing you have to do is go collect the GT missile at the front
this
door.
is one of my favorite things about this category, honestly. It's like, oh hey GT, I'm back. Except you're dead
This
now.
is why we should do the left door route.
Yeah, because fun fact, GT code does actually work through both doors. Like it just matters that you're in the room, that you're like doing it when GT initializes. Can you imagine?
Let's see Anfunny do that gravity jump. Sure is familiar with it from his randos.
Yeah, an interesting thing that I see people do a lot with this gravity jump is that they will like run for a little bit to get forward momentum. That actually is not helpful because you're in lava and you will not get a speedy jump because you can't get dash in lava. You can be like stationary and press left for 1 frame before pressing jump and it'll work.
Yep, that's what I do. Scotty trying to go for the really fast Hundo block ball after the screw attack.
Nice. All right.
Got it.
So here we go. Nice. First try. Let's go. Using an in-room setup. That is the setup that Anthony just did is frame perfect. Scotty's first attempt was a 2-frame window, but Anthony just did not do the out-of-room setup, just went for it. All right, and now GT code. Menuing spacer off. GG.
I do wonder if that powerbomb lag makes it faster to collect the super on the second trip through GT's room. Because when you come back, you can use the screw attack, and so I've been doing it that way instead of this way.
I would think not, because like here you can get it while he's exploding before the door opens. So you
Yeah.
have some dead time here that you can use.
That makes sense. Rare powerbomb drop from a Giga.
I believe that's a 2% drop. I don't know the Giga table off the top of my head, but it's at most 4. I believe it's 2.
Yeah.
Scotty taking a little extra hit from the Kazan there, and the really annoying thing about the GT categories is that GT code gives you X-ray and grapple, but doesn't display them on the HUD. So it's very easy to like forget you have them, but you still menu them, or you like try to menu from power bombs to missiles with item select while running, and you activate X-ray and just stop. It's really obnoxious.
Scotty took a bit of a kick in the pants in his first attempt at the middle pyre, so reset the room and did better on the second try. Looks like he's out of practice for his Hundo strats. So we'll have to work on that before we get to the bracket stage.
Yeah, that room is funny because if it with plasma beam and like the rest of the like Hundo loadout, it shouldn't be that bad. But if it goes wrong, it goes really wrong sometimes. Like even with the full loadout.
The thing you can do if you want to irritate some certain older runners is you can use X-ray to microwave the metal pirates with the plasma beam.
You can do that. He missed a shot? No, he was dead. He was just did a scam swoop. All right, nice pillar spark from Anfunny there. Go up the worst room, which is really not a bad room at all when you've got screw attack and space jump. Even just screw attack is nice, but if you got screw attack and space jump, this room is like most trivial room in the game. Not really the most trivial, but it's very trivial compared to low ice or Fantoon first any percent, for example. All right, so Anfunny now. Did he bonk the little overhang? Like, did he jump high through the door into amphitheater?
Didn't quite see.
Because his space jump was slow, so it was either that or he bonked the door entering. Because the door into amphitheater with space jump, particularly, is actually a door that you don't want to fix. Like if you jump through it, you fix it and get a better door transition, but there's a little ledge that you'll bonk into and lose any of your horizontal speed. So you want to jump low so that you can space jump to the central pillar faster. Like it saves a pretty decent chunk of time.
I've heard there's a YOLO strat where you don't space jump on the left side at all. What you do is you just go really low until you get all the way to the pillar sticking down, then you wall jump off of that to reset your fall speed, and then you start space jumping.
Yep, we call that the YOLO jump, and it's not a consistent strat. There's a reason that people don't go for it. Oh.
Scotty went for Blue Bomber through the Spring Ball Maze, but didn't quite get it.
Yeah, no Hoda Ruby special, but like, we applaud the attempt. Like, any trick like that where it's like, mostly just for swag. I mean, I think Hoda Ruby special saves...
was still extremely short, so...
Yeah, no, it was a very good attempt. We applaud those. No. So, funny you should ask, chat.
Not 100%. It's 135 in this category.
Yes. So the way this category works is that you, when you do the GT code, it gives you 53% of the items, and then you collect screw attack to make it 54. But in this category, you still do the GT code and get those 53% of items, but you're not allowed to collect any energy tanks, reserve tanks, missiles, supers, or power bombs on the way to doing GT code. So after you do GT code, you go back through the entire game and you collect all of the tanks and all of the ammo, and that takes you to 135%. You don't need to recollect the majors. The game only checks, do you have this major or not? And you get all of them screw from the GT code, and then you get screw immediately after GT code.
So you see Scotty collects the wave missile, and then immediately turns round, because he's already got wave beam. And
Yeah,
he'll
thank you,
also
Scotty,
have to
for
revisit the speed highway to collect the speed missile.
thank you, Scotty, for demonstrating rightness. I love the muscle memory. That's low ice muscle memory right there.
Over the door.
Yeah, well, you're coming up from there. You need to go to Speedbugs to farm before you go to Meridia. So, or maybe Scotty doesn't need to so much. I forget if he does Ridley second. But I love this strat. No!
So, like, that's actually a timing error in the game. In most places, they put full tile slopes behind the actual slopes so that Samus will get pushed up when doing sparks like that. But in that particular spot, they forgot to put the full tile slope behind the slope, so you just bonk into a solid tile instead of getting pushed up.
Other places that you may notice that include West Ocean. Sometimes if you spark low, you will bonk in the slope in one of the platforms. And that's actually the reason for the magnet behavior of magnet stairs. Basically, slopes are well designed and not broken at all in this game, and everyone should stop
Really
asking
hard to code,
questions.
so.
Just stop asking questions. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
I'll be menued over to power bombs in Bubble Mountain, then menued off of them. So remember that he has to not go down right here. He has to go to the left, go pick up the
Yeah, there we go. Gotta go get those cathedral missiles. And from here, he will go down to Croc, correct?
Yeah, I don't know the optimal route, so I'm kind of watching to learn what the optimal route actually is here. I just mess around every time.
I would imagine, because then you can... I think it kind of makes sense to go to Croc here. You'd go to... Oh, maybe you do go backwards. So here you do... Oh, I see. You go to... From here, you go to Ice. You don't need to go to Ice. What am I talking about?
Go to Crumble Shop. And you can take that down to Croc.
Yes, there we go. That's the item we needed. So you take that to Croc, and then you come up through Croc Escape, and you do high jump then. And then you leave. And then you go to Kraid, and then Meridia. And then Meridia to Wreck Ship, and then Wreck Ship to do the Brinstar retro, the green-pink retro Bryn loop.
So fun fact, you can actually grapple Croc if you have grapple be worthy.
Oh, Scotty getting the teleport.
No. Yeah, Croc doesn't like having you behind him. He'll teleport you back and forth. So. If you're too low when that happens, you can actually get teleported into the floor. So be careful. Croc will pull you down out of bounds if you grapple him like that. Well, not
That
will,
was
but can. You could also run into his hitbox in a weird way and get pulled out of
oh,
bounds by
come on,
right
Scotty.
there.
Come on, Scotty, let's go. Oh. Oh, wow. 3 attempts, though. That was very nice. I don't think I've ever gotten 3 attempts off of a single Shrine Spark.
Yeah, most
That
people
was,
only get two spike suit attempts off one spark. So.
yep. All right. And so we will unfortunately not see the best mock ball in the game because we don't need to collect grapple beam, just the missiles, power bombs, and other missiles down here. And so lay this power bomb here, short charge, and then collect these, and then just leave, unfortunately.
I thought he would do the Hundo strat where you soup with the orb to get deboosted through the door.
I don't think Scotty runs a ton of hundo, so I wouldn't expect to see any like hundo, like a ton of hundo specific strats. Like he knows how to navigate the rooms for sure, but like as far as like specific strats, I doubt he has practiced much compared to like the other categories, but I'm not sure. I could be talking false information right now.
He's got a 11639.
Okay. That's a pretty good.
He's a lot better Hundo than I am.
Yeah,
Probably a lot better than you are. So
yeah, no, very good time. But it's all hundo is also something that like rusts very quick.
yeah, see, that's what I've been seeing. Is Scotty
Rusts
knows
a
the
lot.
struts, but he's a little bit rusty on them.
Yeah, so he's like not gonna do them because he doesn't know them in the moment. There, I've
He's
recovered,
definitely going
so as
for them,
not to insult
but
Scotty.
he's definitely going for them. But he's seeing the rust in his own hands.
Oh yeah, he's. Oh, you have to kill the
No, he didn't have to kill
guy.
the soul because he killed the soul for the first time he came here. So
I think he just forgot.
I'm not
But
sure
anyway,
what's going on there.
that is the. Oh, that's an
That's the end of Upper
interesting.
North Earth, Scotty.
Anfunny just did an interesting little speed cancel. Canceled the speed booster and bonked into the platform, the two-tail platform above the Croc Speedway door. That was an interesting little bit of tech.
Yeah, if you turn around in air, your speed echoes go away. So. Anfunny making advantage of the way that your animations change the frame, so doing moonwalk without actually moving the feet. You'll notice that missiling the key hunters to make sure they're all dead before the powerbomb greatly reduces lag when you lay that powerbomb, so
Yes. Key hunters are global enemies, which means that they have to process off screen. Not only are they global enemies, each of them is actually 2 separate enemies. The body of the key hunter and the wings are 2 separate enemy slots. And so when you have 4 key hunters on like in a room, that's actually 8 key hunters that are always being processed every frame, even when they're off screen. And that takes up a lot of processor power that the game can't then use for other things. So you get lots of lag.
that's why I noticed the key hunter stairs and the Three Musketeers are 2 of the laggiest rooms in the game.
Mm-hmm.
Scotty using the runoff strat in Fish Tank that I believe Zenny discovered a couple of years ago during the Hundo tournament. So.
I missed that.
When you run off the slope, it's actually faster than doing this various spin jumps. Instead of. But you kind of have to time it right so that you don't hit the fish.
I see. So you have to like manage your speed in air, or like time when you run off the. All right. So now we are entering our Meridia collection. Let's see. We don't need to go to Plasma or Spring Ball, so this does not look very much like Hundo, right?
I always imitate Hundo because I don't know what I'm doing.
Well, you have to go to Precious. So.
You still have to go to Dragon and kill Dragon.
Yeah. That's true as well. You don't have to go to Plasma though, and that really changes things up. So I think you would just.
You have to accidentally use X-ray.
Yep. See, that's what I mean. It sucks. I forget what fixes the HUD that's not saving and reloading. There is definitely something.
You can go pick up the items. I imagine if you went over and picked up Grapple and X-ray, you could show them on the head. But
I think
cost you a lot of time.
I think if you pick up one of them, it makes both of them visible. Something like that happens. There's some way other than like saving and resetting that can be used to make them appear in the HUD, if I remember correctly. All right, so Scotty now going through, we're going to see a microwave on Botswoon here. Coming up in just a room or two.
Boss iframes run out during, enemy iframes run out during X-ray, so use the X-ray to keep the beam from going anywhere and wait for their iframes to run out. You can hit them another time, and another time, and another time until they're just dead.
Yeah, it's pretty convenient, honestly.
One super just to show who's boss.
Yeah, what I've seen a lot of people do is like three hits with the beam and then finishing it with the super. Which okay, he's not. Oh, he froze the thing. That's why he's doing. I see. Which
rubbed his toe on a Puyo.
But yeah, if you only do the 3 shots, Plasma is on screen with fewer body segments at any given time, and so by the time Botswoon's full body is like out of the hole, the Plasma shot is off screen. And I think that it's a lag reduction thing.
Yeah.
I'm not.
Sounds
it's either
like
that or a backup.
I've always seen a lot of lag in that room when I fire Plasma, so.
Yeah, no, each body segment's a projectile, right? So like.
Yep. Incidentally, the projectiles are why his hitbox is so weird. Because it's doing that 32 by 32 grid to decide whether you're hitting his body instead of his head.
Oh, we do love Super Metroid, don't we?
Well, Dragon, Scotty's choosing the center of the room so that after he dies, Dragon just goes straight down. Because Dragon has to move towards the center, and the less time he spends moving towards the center, the faster it's over.
All right, no spike suit. Also, like I don't know how like how much rust Scotty has on the hundo or the like the spring ball spike suit, because it is different because you have to unmorph with up if you have spring ball.
In
So it's not,
Hondo, you'd never have
yeah,
Rainbow when you're trying to do this spike suit, at least.
yeah, no, that it definitely not hundo. I misspoke there, but it's like GT code.
The Croc, if you do late Croc Hundo, you'd have
Mhm.
Spring Ball for the spike suit.
Yes.
Don't know which one he does.
I would imagine. Okay, I would imagine he does. I'm yeah, I'm sure that someone like Scotty does late croc because it's technically faster. Oh, let's go! Beautiful.
Alright, we've got him in chat. He says he does do light Croc, so.
Okay, that's what I thought. Okay, cool. Well then, never mind. Scotty, I guess you're good at the video game then.
Yeah, like, you can see by what he's trying to do that he knows what to do. It's just a little bit rusty.
It's just hundo, you know.
And since this is vanilla, runners are encouraged to actually watch the restream if they feel so inclined. So, unlike the randomizers, there's no secret knowledge to be gained here.
Well, I mean, for some people playing GT Max, there might be. You know, there certainly would be for me. Neat little super. I'm really excited for Brinstar Cleanup when we get to that. Brinstar Cleanup is a really, really cool segment. I think. I wonder if either of them is going to go for the Bryn Reserve, the really hot, try hard like Bryn Reserve speedball.
The speedball into the back, no. That's a test, right?
But it's so sick.
Oh, Anfunny picked up the Aquanaut supers early, before Batoon.
All right. All right, that was a pretty lag-free Batoon. Well done. One thing, I wonder if we'll see oh, if you're not full halving, maybe it is. All right, so
You have
we
Space
will
Jump. Not getting full halfing doesn't matter as much.
Yeah. I wonder how long that Shine Spark takes. It's like the tricky thing about Shine Sparks and saving time with them is that like you have to take into account the crash animation, which is like over a second long.
Yeah,
Or like
so unless you're saving more than a second, don't do the Shad Spark.
yeah, there are ways to mess with that, but it's like yeah.
That's the ways to mess with it required you to do a previous Shine Spark, so.
Well, you gotta Shine Spark to Shine Spark, right? Okay.
This gate glitch is not working out in Scotty's favor.
Well, at least it's not max suitless.
Why would you come this way in Max Sulish? You can go through Cack Alley.
Or don't you? What am I thinking? Oh no, there are two gate glitches in this route. I'm getting it mixed up.
Yeah, it's that same gate. It's that same gate twice. That was Scotty's
okay.
second attempt at it. Well, second
Oh,
visit.
okay. All right. Well, then he doesn't have to deal with it anymore. Great. Oh, right. He's just getting out of here. That would have been so sick.
Good attempt at the uppercut out, though. So. Don't have to visit X-Ray, don't have to visit Spazer, just going to Alpha and Beta PBs.
Yep. Alpha PBs, because even though we've already got the PBs, we do need to get the missiles behind them.
Anfunny almost... I guess he's about halfway done with his Meridia, going into the right sandpit now.
So this will be his
D-boost to the left after the sandpit, and not D-boost to the right.
All right, so it looks like this is his first sandpit.
Yep.
All right, so we are in fact going to the left. Well done.
Now it's Anfunny's turn to contend with the gate glitch. Now, my first couple times I ran this, I used all of my supers on Ridley. I found myself getting here and being kind of short on supers. Like, oh, okay, don't do that. Picking up Main Street Missile a bit early. But better to get it now and not forget it, so...
Yeah.
Spooky Missiles is more interesting when everything's turned on and the spikes deal damage and there's these Kazans here to try to squash you.
Yeah, interesting is certainly one way to put it. It's a bit of a scary room.
When you have over 14 E-tanks, it's not as scary. You notice the HUD stops at 14, but the players are actually picking up enough E-tanks that they'll end up with roughly 20 E-tanks equivalent.
Yep.
GT code is a bit weird in that your max energy ends in 0 instead of 99.
Yeah, so you end up at 2100, right?
Yep. So the HUD doesn't display them, but if somebody is forced to reset, and you look at the menu, you can see the extra tanks in the menu.
Yep, it's pretty funny. I hope we get to see it. I'm sure we will.
Wow.
if Scotty does his.
Has to reset.
Well, I mean, if Scotty or when either of them like resets after the run, if they take a save in Turian or at the ship.
Yeah, if you're taking a safety save in case of missed items, you do it at the ship before Turian. If you do it at the Turian entrance, you're essentially adding an elevator ride in.
Mm-hmm. And the ship like refill tells you instantly whether you got all the ammo.
Yeah. Doesn't tell you whether you've got all the tanks, but that's a lot more noticeable.
Tends to be. Yeah, but when they copy their files for game 2, maybe we'll get a peek. Because it is pretty funny if you haven't seen it.
Copying the files for game 2 happens in between the matches, so probably won't get to see that. These matches are a best of 3, so each runner vetoes one possibility, and then they one of them picks one, and then the other one picks one. If a game 3 is necessary, that one is randomly chosen.
Nebdy Spark, let's go. Shout out to Nebdy.
Scotty opting to spend less missiles pushing the jerk robots out of the way, instead of trying to do the fancy strat of phasing through them. Which is more difficult with Screw Attack, because Screw Attack resets the iframes that you need.
Yep. Thick.
The first robot you can do with the morph, so you get the iframes, then you morph and you can roll under it, but the second one I can never really get clean, so I kind of end up pushing the second one out of the way. Anfunny has completed his Meridia and Red Tower. So little in Red Tower in this on your second trip. There's just the two items on the revisit.
Yep. And then we never see it again. So do they go? Is it down Green Bryn, up Retro? That makes sense because of Climb Supers.
Yep. Oh, nice down grab onto the statue. So
Yes. GG, Scotty. I think they cleared the platform.
yeah, just barely.
All right, nice space jump through West Ocean here. Some of these rooms are really, really fun to do with this GT back loadout.
Yeah, I like to go for a mockball through that entry hallway. You open the door and then you just mockball into the hallway. Both runners picking up a missile pack at the same time. That probably happens a fair amount to this. With all the missile packs.
Yeah, you have to get 45 of them. So with each ammo, you end up with twice that ammo minus one ammo pickup. So, like, with yours, that's not right. Sorry, not twice. You get 95 and
So-
30. Yeah, help me with this math here. 95, 9, and 9. Or not 95.
So, supers and power bombs, you end up with 20 plus 45, so 65 of each of
65,
those.
okay.
And then you end up with 325 missiles.
That's 100 plus 325. Or 225.
100 plus 225, yeah. Spiky Room of Death is just another room when you have this many energy tanks.
Yes, just as spiky, significantly less deathy.
Ah. That's one of the positions that works. There's another position up on the third hill that you can use for plasma for the wraparound shot. It's not up in the air. So Scotty was jumping to get some vertical speed on his shot to make it go down far enough to open the door for the wraparound.
Okay. We are not going to see the Teletubby Huggy from Scotty, unfortunately. But fair enough. That was silly. Oh, nice. Very nice quick drops. You have to be careful because if you accidentally go down one side there, like it's very important you stay in the middle while you're doing those turnarounds.
I'm telling
As you
you,
go to one
out in one
side,
side and you can see it.
all right, so here comes the Brinstar cleanup. Oh, maybe, yes.
Just a momentary blink on the stream, so no actual problems. Gotta remember to return into the early supers. So.
Mm-hmm. You still need 3 missile packs and a reserve tank. I think he went for it. It makes me very happy that you even went for it, Scotty.
So, and the randomizers that Anfunny plays on SMRET, they do a lot of custom objective stuff. A lot of randomized objectives, and one of the ones that can come up is like clear the area, so I'm sure he's used to clearing all of Rick's ship just to finish one objective at the end. That is one advantage that I think randomizer players would have, is accustomed to coming back to an area and remembering what you have picked up and what you have not,
Mm-hmm.
to actually route and not forget any items. Like vanilla players, if you only run 80%, you might not have that as much. You might have to repeat it a few times to get it really stuck in your head, but I think if you're full clearing on a randomizer, you're more used to doing that.
All right, so Scotty now finishing up this Eticoons area. Gonna get these power bombs here. It's no different from in Hundo, even though you have screw attack. It's still, those wall jumps are still the fastest way up the room.
Yeah, with the space jump, you have to start falling down, get the correct falling speed before you can space jump again. Wall jump you can do immediately.
Yeah. Space jumping, I believe, is faster underwater, but yeah, in the air, it's always faster to wall jump.
Question in chat about what's the difference between max percent and 100%. Max percent, they have to use a debug code that was left in the game. It gives the players a bunch of extra ammo and free major items. And they have to go and activate that code with the minimum number of pickups so that they can go pick up everything afterwards and get the maximum percent of 135. So,
Ooh. The setup looks good. Oh, let's go. Mission Impossible. Very, very nice, Scotty. That is a hard trick.
you have to be really fast on that wall jump out. The spin jump up is actually buffered by holding back a jump during the fanfare, but the wall jump at the crumble you have to be really fast on.
Yeah, you also have to get the quick drop correctly to set it up in the first place. If you mess that up, then like you don't even get to attempt it. But yeah, see, this is why the Green Bryn cleanup is one of my favorite parts of this run, because like there's just so many cool strats that you're never gonna see anywhere else. aside from like maybe a randomizer, because like you're never going to have the items when you're in Brinstar.
And in a randomizer, you're not going to be picking up all these items as much if you have this lit out, unless you have a weird randomizer that requires 100%.
Oh, so close.
I've heard that it's actually possible to speedball to clip through the door without actually opening it because of the weird slope there.
Huh. Interesting. Speed booster's weird, and slopes are very weird. And the way that slopes interact with speed booster is even weirder than either of the two on its own. You can use an enemy to get a spike suit or a shine spark suit off of an enemy in a slope, for example.
You see the charge beam that Scotty skipped earlier because it doesn't need it, gets it from the debug code.
Yes, continues to be spurned. Oh, charge beam, my beloved. What has become of you? I have to say, I'm a big fan of charge beam. I think it's a pretty good item, and I'm not afraid to say it. I know that might be an unpopular opinion.
So this blue brain is actually identical to Hundo. This is the exact loadout you'd have coming here in Hundo. So. Anfunny went for the return lockball from Bryn Reserve, didn't quite get it.
Scotty's power bomb's just a tiny bit too far to the right. When it's placed where he wanted it to be, it clears all of the blocks up to the tile where the shaft is, and then none of them afterwards. So you can just run into the wall and go straight up the shaft with a jump. But managed to recover, no problem, obviously.
Anfunny's not that far behind. Probably only about 3, maybe 4 minutes.
Yeah, so far I think a very, very good showing from Anthony. Like I said, I think that like, you know, you come in knowing that like your opponent is heavy favorite. Like you don't have any expectations of like the result of the race, and you just like know that you can just play your own game and do your best, and like whatever happens will happen, and maybe Scotty will like die somewhere very stupid or something like that, you know? Like there's no reason not to play your own game and try to do your best, and I think it's very evident that he's doing that. I believe he said, I can't remember, it's maybe a 4x. He has a 130 4x for a PB, I believe. So, I don't. Do you know the category well enough to estimate his pace right now, Kai? Because I certainly don't.
Probably about 9 minutes Victorian. So I'd expect Scotty to be on like, say, 127 or 128. And then, yeah, Anfunny's probably on a 135 or 136 pace. Which I've only done a few runs and I haven't paid a whole lot of attention to my timer.
Yeah. And I don't think that's bad for a race of category like this, for sure.
Now we get to revisit the Terminator tank, which can end your run at the beginning when you accidentally pick it up.
In that way, similar to Joseph Challenge.
There are not a lot of categories where you avoid picking up items, so at least it's nice to see these special categories.
Yeah, maybe I should stop saying that. Yeah, I guess it is still GT Classic because you do the GT Classic Lava Dive, not the GT Max Lava Dive. But the early game is GT Max, not GT Classic. Unless you're a baby and get early Gauntlet.
I need to not take a ship save, so he's about to go past his last chance to save before getting locked in.
As far as I know, he got everything.
Yeah, I didn't see anything missed, so I'm not worried. No 133% here.
Very nice little spin jump onto the platform from Anfunny there.
Yeah, that spin jump is hard to time because you're always blind. Can't actually see anything. You just have to
See,
do it by feel.
I love categories with supers for Turian. It's like the just
Yeah, they're so
super
much better
everything.
than the categories with power bombs for Torian.
Yeah, I've never experienced that for myself and don't particularly care to, honestly. My experiences with power bombing Turian in randomizers are more than enough. Thank you very much.
Yeah, same here. Though, if I even got to Turian in a low percent speed, I'd be glad.
All right, so we are going to see a baby skip attempt from Scotty here. He does the dashless setup for this Stachio skip. Nice little forward jump, clearing out the vines through beautifully. And Scotty will be headed to kill Mother Brain 1.
I've recently
And
learned that you can use the grapple beam to play funny games with where the hopper gets grabbed and how the baby moves. So.
All right, so this is a locked-in save.
Yeah, if Scotty missed any items, this does not help. But that didn't happen, so this is just protecting against stand-up soft lock.
Yep, which is basically soft locking stand-up without a save is basically the way that Scotty loses this race. Like, it's the only way. You just have so much energy.
Scotty's actually getting rid of some of that energy early to reduce the amount of time that he has to spend damaging down before the rainbow beam.
This is so silly.
It looks silly, but it saves time.
No, I know. I know it does. And I love that it saves time because it's so silly.
Stand up, you just have to have your energy at least 700 before the rainbow beam hits. And then you're allowed to stand up afterward, because the game thinks, hey, we've got some energy, you can keep going.
Yep, does just need to damage himself down below, or to 100 or below, before the second rainbow beam.
Anfunny only has 2 items left, so just gotta pick up that 230 and Terminator. This glitch allows Scotty to continue damaging Mother Brain, so dealing damage to the third phase to reduce the length of the third phase fights. Causing Mother Brain to miss onion rings loses time because Mother Brain has to reduce the Metroid's hit points to 0. So every onion ring that Mother Brain misses is another one that she has to fire, but oh yeah, in this category you have to wait for the tanks to refill anyway, and you have extra tanks, so it doesn't matter. Those 6 extra tanks add a lot of time that the baby spends refilling you.
Is baby refill 1 point per frame?
I've never timed it, so
I mean, it seems like it should be. That's how reserves are, right?
yeah, that's how reserves are. That's incidentally why you only get 75 out of reserve when you're taking heat damage, because heat damage is 1 per 4 frames.
Anfunny's running pretty close to pace here. It looks like.
Yeah, I'd say he's got about 8-9 minutes left.
Yeah, so I think he'll be within like a minute and a half, 2 minutes, like at most, probably less than that. It looks like. We'll see how he handles Turian, but like,
I feel like pace is a lot less meaningful on a category when you've done less than, say, 20 runs. Your first 10 runs, you're still improving your routing so much that makes the big difference.
well, I mean, a PB is a PB, right?
Yeah, but your first 10 PBs come a lot more easily than the next 10.
All right, so we have our first finisher here. Finishing in first place in our max percent GT code race. Is Scotty. Kai, are you in the race room? I am not. I do not know what the official time is. Here we go.
Oh. 122.45.
Very nice. GG, Scotty. So yeah, now we wait to see if the operation was in fact completed successfully. Scotty, did you PB?
See, Anfunny damaging down on the hopper. Probably not going to go for Baby Skip, because Baby Skip is a tough trick.
Scotty doesn't even know his PP in this category.
That's fair.
Honestly, slay.
I don't know my PB for this category off the top of my head. I'd have to go look it up, and then I'd find out, oh, I never got around to submitting it, so I don't actually know my PB because it's not on the leaderboard. And go dig through recordings, like, oh, man, do I care that much? I could just do another run.
All right, so thankfully the length of this refill is not affected by how much energy has to be refilled, unlike the ship, which is why the ship refill takes a really long time.
I actually timed the ship refill in the context of Hundo.
Oh, well, GG PB, Scotty.
And in Hundo, when you're coming there after wreck ship, the majority of your time is just the elevator ride. Because there's an elevator ride for going into the ship and coming out, and that's where most of your time on the ship refill is spent. And it's actually bad enough that it's if you're going to do a ship refill there in Hundo, in order to do Gauntlet Spark, you should just instead do Gauntlet at the end.
Mm-hmm. All right, Anfunny beginning, Mother Brain, 2-fight, just throwing out all of his supers just for the heck of it. It's the same, optimally the same DPS. You have to fire them in groups of 3 to equal full beam shots, but
Incidentally, we saw 324 missile ammo for Anfunny, so we know that Anfunny did not miss any missiles, and I didn't see anything else miss, so I do believe we have 2 valid
all
runs
right.
here.
There we go, 135%. So it is official. Scotty has won this GT Max race. GG's to Scotty. And now we wait for Anthony, who should be finishing before too long. And yeah, I think is probably running within a minute-ish of PB right now, which is very good for a race, especially in a category like this.
Ooh. Um, those frames when Mother Brain tries to force you back into being on the ground are a bit weird. You'll find that you'll only go one direction until you touch the ground, even if you press the opposite direction. So you saw Anthony going over to the left kind of uncontrollably in that crouched pose. Even if he'd pushed right during that, he would have still gone left. Just because he started out facing left when the crouch pose struck. It's really weird.
So yeah, Anthony doing his stand-up glitch here. Oh, okay. Saved it. Very nice.
A little bit of slow walk.
Ooh. It was scary for a split second there. If you are charging a shot, is it charging a shot when you get hyper beam?
It's charging or shot in the air, or you basically don't want to be doing anything involving your shots at the wrong time. And you also don't want to be in the wrong pose, apparently. If you're in the wrong pose, you can get a different kind of slow walk.
Super Metroid is such a great video game. Oh, Scotty, did you get Blue Bomber? I was looking at Anthony's screen when you were doing
Yes.
escape, I guess.
Scotty did get the Blue Bomber.
Let's go. GG, Scotty, you're sick. Let's go. All right. Well, if I am not mistaken, I believe that's a PB going to be a PB for Anthony as well. Finishing in second place with a race time GG time of 1:29.51. So GG's to Anthony. Really great showing from both of our runners today. So we will wait to confirm the 135%, and then we will take a short break, let our runners take a breather, comms and audience as well, go get a drink, get a snack, do what you got to do to come back for our second game, which will be decided shortly by the players.